everyone, we're back in the craft room, and today I'm going to be doing a pendant, and I'm going to be doing the ever popular One Direction. And Zara has been asking me, she's one of my subscribers, and she's been asking me for a long time if I would do a One Direction craft, and I really couldn't think of anything, and I came across this picture, and this is on a thicker like cardstock, and you can either print something out, or if you have something off of, out of a magazine or a poster or a book or whatever, go ahead and use that. And what I'm going to do, I'm working on wax paper. I'm using Mod Podge, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to paint over the front and the back with the Mod Podge. And if you can see, because if you only do one side, it starts to bow like that, and we don't want that. So then I'm going to flip it over. I'll put Mod Podge on the back, and then it kind of straightens itself out. And I'll flip it again and put it on the side again. And I'm going to do that probably 3 times and let it dry between the coats. We're back, and I have 2 pieces of the Envirotex jewelry clay, and I am blending them up until it's one solid color and there aren't any streaks of either color showing. Okay, I have it all blended, and what I'm going to do is roll it into a ball, maybe more of an oval snakish kind of thing. And I'm working on parchment paper, and the nice thing about this clay is that it will dry rock solid, rock hard, and you don't have to do anything else to it. You do not have to bake it, you don't have to put any adhesive on it if you want to stick something to it, you don't have to do any kind of final glaze over it to protect it. When it's dry, it's dry, and if you put like a pigment powder over it like we're going to be doing, you don't have to put anything onto it as well, because the pigment powder kind of actually becomes part of the clay. So all I'm doing is spreading this out on the parchment paper, and I need to have it big enough for the picture to fit in. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be pressing this into the clay. Kind of use the side of your hand to kind of get it in there really nice. Pound it down a little bit. And then I'm going to just kind of trim and add it back in. Because we're just going to be making a frame with the clay so that we don't have any of the raw edges of the picture showing. Once you have it framed in, you should have a little bit of extra, and you want to make 2 equal pieces. I'm going to roll it into a ball, then I'm going to take a needle tool or something, it could just be a needle, and I'm going to put a hole in it. And I'm going to make sure that the holes are facing sideways. Because that's how we're going to hang it on a cord or a chain or whatever. Now, these balls might not keep shape perfectly, because we are going to have to flip it over. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking this pigment powder, and I'm going to take a brush, and I'm going to brush it all over the clay. Alright, now I'm going to take my needle tool and just run it underneath the clay to kind of separate it from the parchment paper. So I can more easily flip it over. Oops. And then, before we set it aside, we want to go through again and poke fresh holes in there if you need to, if they closed up. Okay, now we're just going to set this aside and we will come back. The One Direction pendant is dry enough for me to start to brush it all off with a soft brush, just to get all that excess pigment powder off. I've prepared my Easy Cast resin already, and I have it in this cup, and I'm working on parchment paper to protect my surface, my work surface, and all I'm going to do is kind of start scooping it out a little bit right onto the photo. And it'll spread itself out, but you can certainly help it. You want to make sure it gets into all of the corners. And then let it sit for a minute, and a lot of the bubbles will rise to the top. And then you can use a lighter and carefully go over the surface, and it will pop any of the bubbles that are up on top of the surface. You might need to do that once or twice, or you can use a straw if you would rather do that. So leave it be, we'll let it sit for 12 hours, we'll come back and it'll be all done. So here is your One Direction pendant, and all you have to do is feed the cording through the sides. Hope you like it, hope you give it a try. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And for directions for this and all of my other crafts, stop by my website at www.craftclatch.com. Thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time. Happy crafting!